In this video, I'm going to share one simple thing you can do to make fasting easier. So let me go ahead and start with a story that kind of illustrates my point. So yesterday I worked in the emergency room and I had to go in the morning. I started work at 8 a.m. So I'm not really that much of a morning person, so I wouldn't have had time to get food before work anyway. And I just decided to kind of play it by ear. So I show up at work and I think, well, maybe if it's not too busy in the morning, I'll go get like a late breakfast, or, if not, worst case scenario, I'll get some food at lunchtime. So I show up around 8, and the physician that's already there has a whole bunch of patients that he's already taken charge of. And then there's 5 or 10, I can't remember the exact number, people just waiting to be seen when I get there, who've been waiting for a little while already. And so I have to hit the ground running. From the moment I get there, it's pretty busy. And then people just keep checking in and checking in and checking in. And so it was just a crazy busy shift from beginning to end. So as a result, the idea of getting breakfast at any time during the morning was completely shot. And then as the hours went by, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., finally, as lunchtime kind of rolled around, I was thinking, well, sometime while food is available, because they have a certain window of time when there's some food available in the physician lounge. So while the food's available, I'll make a point of going. And so, I kept thinking that, but then there was more to do and other things, I was juggling all these different tasks. And then finally at 1:30, I'm like, okay, got to go now or I might just lose my chance. So I kind of dropped everything, went there, had a quick bite to eat, came back. The whole process took maybe like 15 minutes, and grabbed some food for later just in case. And so finally at 1:30, I ate for the first time that day. I hadn't drank anything besides a little bit of water. So I basically hadn't been consuming anything pretty much until that moment. So the point of that story is, under certain circumstances, it's really easy to fast. And one of those is when you're super busy and you're very distracted, and so your mind is engaged and engrossed in whatever's going on, and the time goes by quickly. Time flies when you're having fun and when you're doing other things too, in some cases. So one simple trick you can use to make fasting easier is to plan your fasts when you're going to be busy, because you kind of already know when you're going to be particularly busy in many cases. And one example is when you're at work, if you have a type of work where you have these busy shifts like me, or anything similar to that. Or when you just have a lot going on, you know you're going to have to do a lot of stuff on a certain morning or whatever, then you can plan to fast that morning. So this is relevant to daily time-restricted eating, which is what people often call intermittent fasting. If you're eating your food in a shorter window of time, then like I said, if you know you're going to be busy in the morning, then you could just plan to fast through the morning. Or if you know you're going to be particularly busy in the evening, then you could plan to start your fast earlier in the evening, and fast till the next day. I did that once when I was going to go see a play in the evening, and I was trying to do a certain number of 24-hour fasts that month. And so I started, the play started at I don't remember, 7 or something, but I ended up finishing my dinner pretty early, around maybe 5. And so I got a pretty big head start on that 24-hour fast that evening, several hours of it. And so then all I had to do was make it until the afternoon the next day. So it wasn't that bad. So that's one simple trick you can use to make fasting a lot easier. And the converse is also true. So don't plan to do any fasting at a time when it's going to be harder, because you're either kind of, just hanging around your house. And so you're going to be thinking oh, maybe I should go check the fridge and things like that. Or when you're going to be surrounded by food, like at a holiday party or something. You probably realize that intuitively, but that's not a smart time to plan a fast, because it's just going to be more difficult, especially if you're not very experienced. The more experienced you get, the easier fasting gets for a lot of different reasons, but especially when you're just starting out, you want to plan it at a time when it's going to be easy. So like I said, it would probably be a mistake to plan your fasting at a time when you'd be surrounded by food. And there are some other fasting mistakes. Actually, the top 3, probably the most common beginner fasting mistakes, I've shared in a different video, which you can see right here above my left shoulder, let's say. So yeah, it should be right there. So you can click on that if you want to learn more about fasting mistakes to avoid. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.